Family. I'm Chirende Osisiago. Today we shall be discussing on the African Local Content Conference, the Nigerian oil and gas industry experiences. We shall be running a series of episodes on the conference, and of course the promoter of the conference is here to educate investors about the conference, how, why, and when the conference is coming up. He is the author of Nigerian Content Act Simplified. He is no other than Mr. Michael Akweche. You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Okay, talking about the conference, what exactly is this conference talking about? What is it about?
The African Local Content Conference, the Nigerian oil and gas industry experience, seek to explore opportunities within the context of Nigerian Content Act.
Okay.
But then, oil has been discovered in Nigeria for the past 50 years. But yet, so many African countries are just discovering oil and gas. And Nigeria is the best country in a position to sensitize other countries in Africa. So we're going to be narrowing down on the experiences that is being derived from the oil and gas industry, so that other African countries will learn. And at the same time, using it as a tool, to expatiate on the opportunities in the oil and gas industry.
Okay, thank you. So what exactly is the theme for this conference, so that at least people out there will know what the theme is about?
The theme is promoting indigenous participation
Okay.
and ownership of oil and gas assets.
Yeah. Okay. What are the basic objectives of the conference too?
We have three basic objectives. And number one is to sensitize investors, indigenous operators, contractors, service providers, goods and services on the opportunities that the passage of Nigerian Content Act has thrown up. So sensitizing people of the opportunities that the new Nigerian content policy regime has thrown up. The second objective is to educate the indigenous operators, contractors, service providers, indigenes of oil and gas producing states on how to pool their strength and resources, expertise together to maximize opportunities within the local content terrain. Local content, you cannot explore these opportunities on your own anymore. There are some contracts that are running in hundreds of millions of dollars. There are contracts that are running in billions of dollars. You must be able to partner. You must be able to build sustainable and reasonable partnerships for you to be able to explore opportunities within that sector. If local content, or Nigerian content, as it is called, will be sustained. And then the third one talks about we are focusing on the oil and gas producing states or communities. Is one of the targets at this conference. Because you see, one of the major reasons that fuel agitation in the oil and gas producing states and communities is their exclusion from oil and gas industry activities, businesses, ownership of oil and gas assets. There are so many devastated environments in that area. You come to a community, oil is being explored in that community, sold in millions of dollars, in billions of dollars, and yet that community is living in squalor, below poverty line, which is $1 a day. And most of the time you realize that these guys don't even know how to come together, how to get themselves organized. In 2017, in May of 2017, the federal government asked them to come together, those that are involved in destruction of the environment, in illegal bunkering, illegal refining, to come together to secure license to operate, instead of engaging in illegal refining, get license and operate as a modular refinery operator, so that you will operate in an organized environment. I've talked about that in one of my recent interviews. So one of our major focus is to achieve that objective. And in 2017, in July of 2017, the federal government also asked the oil and gas producing communities to put their acts together to set up special purpose vehicles. I said that the other day, to be able to participate in the competitive allocation of oil blocks. That's one of the areas we are targeting. So we are expecting investors in these areas to key in, because the best person you can partner with is the one that is living within the environment where the resource is deposited. Okay. And of course, you realize that they will help you to protect your investments. So these are the three basic objectives of the conference.
Okay, so as you all know, you know that this is our first episode, of course. So I know people want to know when exactly this conference is actually coming. Is this soon, or is it still going to take more time?
It's coming soon, very soon.
Okay, how soon is it?
Very soon.
Okay, no problem. Okay, what are the major areas of this conference?
Yeah, the major areas are, number one, we're looking at funding. How do you tackle the challenge of funding oil and gas projects, oil and gas investments in the Nigerian oil and gas industry? It's been a very big challenge. Now, the opportunities created for Nigerians to access funding is one of our cardinal conversation at this conference. So if you are an investor, if you are a local investor or a foreign investor, and you want to secure funding in the oil and gas industry, I think you should be at this conference. Okay. The second area, we are looking at prospective investors that want to invest in the building of modular refineries. There is going to be a major attention, a major focus, a major push over the oil and gas producing communities and states. If they can't afford it as communities, they should be able to afford it as states, concerted, connected, networked. Something has to be done. So if you are an investor, you want to participate in investing in modular refineries, this conference is for you. The third area is those that want to invest in oil blocks. Okay. So if you want to invest in oil blocks, because you're going to give it a very powerful attention, it's not going to be business as usual anymore. We're going to open them up. And of course, if you want to invest in marginal fields, there is a difference between marginal fields and oil blocks. And as we take these one after the other, the series that we are about to execute, our audience will get to know more.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there any fee that is supposed to be paid for this particular conference you're talking about?
Of course, it's not free. Okay. It comes with fees, but it's going to be something that you will be able to afford.
Okay, it's going to be affordable.
It's going to be affordable, definitely.
Alright, okay, thank you. So, can anybody just attend the conference, or just you have a particular people that can actually attend the conference?
Oil and gas industry is big.
Yeah.
I've told you the four major areas we are targeting. So if you are within the context of these four major areas, please be our guest. If you're in the banking industry, you want to get opportunities, you secure opportunities, network with those that are, investors in this area, so that you know whether you can provide them with funding. Please, you are there. Insurance companies, manufacturers of oil and gas industry, inputs, researchers, research institutions, a whole lot. It's open for everyone.
Okay.
Yes, but I will advise most of the indigenous companies to make sure that they don't miss it, because that's where most of the things that indigenous companies have been missing will completely be exposed, especially indigenous companies from the oil and gas producing states. If you are from the oil and gas producing states and you are operating in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, don't miss it. Of course, if you're Nigerian, it's for all Nigerians. It's just that there's not been a concerted effort to focus on some of these opportunities for the oil and gas producing states. As I mentioned in the last interview, that Nigerian Content Act does not have any special reference or special clause meant for the oil and gas producing states. So they do not necessarily benefit. I explained how Section 28, subsection 1 and 2 relate to them. And in fact, that they are not even benefiting from it as a result. So, if you are an operator, contractor, service provider, no matter at whatever category, and you are in Nigeria, you're in the US, you're in the UK, you're anywhere in the world, as long as you have the capacity to execute contracts in the oil and gas industry, please be our guest. I will also advise Nigerians in the diaspora that have the capacity to execute a number of projects in the oil and gas industry. Please come home. The opportunities for you.
Okay. You've not really talked about the venue, exactly where you want to have the conference. Is it going to be here in Abuja or is somewhere else?
Yeah, the conference is going to be held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Early next year.
Okay, early next year.
Yes.
Okay, so what exactly your final thoughts, so just to round off this section?
Yeah, my final thought is that our prospective investors, delegates, participants should look up, expect more episodes that will explain further each of these areas, so that you will be convinced that you need it.
Yeah.
That is it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Michael Akriche, for coming on TVN Business again.
Yes.
And in our next episode, you get to know more on the conference. So join us. That's the much we have for you today. I am Shireen Osisiago. Thanks for watching.